Welcome, friends, to another action-packed episode of Making a Crapsterpiece here on A Crap from the 80s. It's been a while, lots going on. I am in the process of packing for moving in the fall, and things are hot and heavy. We've got a Gash Bash coming up, a big 30th anniversary reunion, lots of stuff going on. Haven't really had time to shoot some videos, but finally we're here. We're here with Mr. Clint Kelly for a much requested Crapsterpiece about a very special movie to both Clinton and I.
Yes.
But Clint has been with us for 10 years now, right? Or
Yep.
yeah, 2011.
2011, yeah, with Death and Lantern.
Yes. One of the films that Clint wanted to talk about for Crapsterpiece is a 2012 film that we made called Sexsquatch. That's right.
There it is. Now, this movie is special because it's the first movie I ever shot for you.
That's right. Yeah, and it's it was sort of the first movie to break out of the shot on VHS thing that Warlock was about.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be as if the new owners of Warlock said, hey, now that we have re-released some of our old classics, let's make some new films to release on the label as well. And that's what the 1080 4K stuff was all about for Warlock, as opposed to the down and dirty shot on VHS stuff that they were re-releasing.
And why we still go by our pseudonyms and different names.
Yeah, but actually, I mean, that one could have. I mean, it's a good movie, and I think, like, not that our fans don't know, but after putting it all together, I don't know why we still went with the fake names, because it's really solid. Normally, we just did it, one, to poke fun at the 80s and some of those names, and two, because we knew they were so bad, we would just use AKAs.
And it doesn't matter, because whoever does the IMDb stuff, which we still don't really know who puts the stuff on IMDb, they knew it was us anyway. So on IMDb, we're still labeled as our real names as having made it. So
I don't know. I don't check that vile site, so I have no idea what the fuck is going on up there. But so yeah, we're gonna finally talk about 2012's Sexsquatch, which is 9 years old.
Yeah.
Wow, it's gonna be 10 years next year of that movie. It still seems so fresh.
It does, yeah. It's because we had I think we all had a great time. I don't think anyone there had a bad time making Sexsquatch.
Other than Bill.
Bill had a bad time?
Well, just because he was covered in...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The costume, covered in milk, covered in bugs and fake blood.
But he got to grab some big boobs and, and so he had some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So Clint, what do you remember about those times? So at this point, you had already been with us for a year, shooting these, VHS things. You're more so acting in them, sort of being thrown into the world of Chris Seaver movie making. And summer 2012, we embark on Sexsquatch. So what was that What was that like for you?
It was awesome. I mean, I remember before Sexsquatch, I think there was a movie that was going to be made called Leo and Lucas, or Leo and Skippy Save Easter. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah, but I couldn't make it. I think it was Leo and Lucas. It was that? No, not Leo and Lucas. What was Oh man, what was Shawnee's character's name in Death of Lantern?
Uh, Patrick.
Patrick. Patrick and Lucas save Easter, but I couldn't come up to do that. So then you started talking about this movie Sexquatch, and you knew that I had shot stuff. So we talked about me shooting it, and I'd rent out this lens and some camera gear, and I'd get some lights, and we'd kind of make it good. And then you said that you rented this lake house. And so I just remember being really excited about, like, we're shooting on a location. We'd take like a little road trip, because it took us like 2 hours, almost an hour and a half to drive up there.
Nah, maybe an hour.
So I remember us, driving up there and then just seeing the house, and it just being really cool. So like, just being the first thing that I actually shot, I wanted to, like, make it look good and impress you and be like, yeah, see, I kind of know what I'm doing. And so that was kind of my thinking, is, man, I want to have fun and I want to make it look good, but still Warlock mentality of, we're shooting it quick. We're shooting it, down and dirty, but, making it look good.
Yeah.
And I remember reading the script and just and cracking up just at some of, like, the gross, stuff in it. And one of the things that sticks out in my mind the most is the frog joke. In the script, it was, Marmalade, right? Picks up the frog, squeezes its guts out, and then uses its guts as, like, lipstick, as lip gloss. So I remember reading that and just being like, how are we gonna? I was just cracking up because it was so funny. And at this time, I don't think I knew that you had such, like, an intense fear of frogs. So I just remember, like, that, like, being like, I can't wait to shoot that because it's so ridiculous, and I just know that this is going to be really gross and funny.
It's a funny scene.
It is a funny scene. And I love how we shot it too, with, like, the fake plastic frog and, like, this blue lip gloss where, she squeezes it, and it just looks good. Like, the way we filmed it, it looks funny, and her reaction to doing it, where she makes the face. It's good stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like the initial of, how I felt once it was pitched and was there, and how I felt.
So you were, yeah, it's funny because, like, other than the VHS stuff, this really, now you sort of knew how we were shooting LBP.
Yeah.
We were just taking 3 days and just jamming it all in.
Yeah.
And you had to adapt, this was definitely the first time where we really, where you had, like, movie lights and we built a dolly and all that shit.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we had I think I had 2 lenses. I had, like, a 24-70 zoom lens where I could get kind of close up medium shots, and then we had this wide angle lens, because in the script you have a built-in, music video. So we wanted to do like the push in during, the thing. So yeah, I had a dolly track that I built myself, and I think actually with the help of my uncle, we built this dolly track with skateboard wheels and stuff. And
yeah, crazy.
Yeah. And the box lights, I had these big box lights where, because we had some outdoor stuff at night. So yeah, we had a good amount of, like, gear for this little movie that we shot in no time, but still managed to, like, do stuff, which was crazy. Like, we shot, still managed to, like, watch stuff, that's where the whole tone video came from, was Sexsquatch.
Yeah.
So
Gold Wings,
yeah. So a lot of stuff we were able to, it was just really fun because the shooting was fun. Everyone, I feel like, was on it. I don't really remember anyone being like bad and like having to do multiple takes. We were all on it. It was just like so smooth. And that's like the easiest ones to like, when you have fun and it's like a fun shoot, it's easy to remember all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm asked some of my, you know, because everyone knows that I hate most of my films, but Sexsquatch is on the list of the things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And that I still find entertainment from. And, I still think relatively we did a pretty good job in the time we had and trying to one up, you know. But yeah, I remember, like we sent you out into the water.
Yeah, and I remember this big like trout or this huge like bass fish swimming like beneath my legs. And if people don't know, I'm kind of like a huge germaphobe. So the lake, I mean, it was a nice lake, but it was still, lake water. You could actually see like the bottom of it. So it wasn't like that bad, but still like going in like in a lake. I don't think I've ever been like in a lake before. I swim in like the oceans and pools and stuff, but
yeah, I don't like lakes.
Yeah.
Never have. We threw Andrew in there.
Yeah, there, that slow-mo shot of Josh and Andrew, coming out, and
him going backwards as the Warlock.
Yeah, so we reversed it and it looks like he's jumping out.
Yeah. That was the last day too. I remember it was like super, super windy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the hottest out there, and he's jumping into this cold ass water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I feel like just in general when throughout the years of shooting movies, I always find it the most fun when we can go on location and do it.
Yeah, definitely.
We rented that place, and yes, it was somebody's home. But I remember being very cognizant of that and worrying that, don't fuck up anything, because that's money that we'd have to pay. And and to have like a movie crew, relatively, I mean, we
fit a lot of people in that house.
Yeah, we did, and we had no issues.
Yeah.
As far as like making a mess or anything, we were really good about it, which was very surprising to me.
I roomed with Alec. It was me and Alec in this little side room with two like twin size beds in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the setup in there. I remember the neighbors complaining, and I remember the neighbors calling the owners, and then the owners called us. And we had to explain what was going on to an extent.
Yeah.
But nothing, I mean, we carried on. It wasn't a big deal.
Right, yeah.
But I do remember them like having some issue with us. Because we had those big lights and it was shining through.
Yeah, it had to have been during my death scene, because that's when we had the lights on the side of the house.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see how they could
screaming and someone saying, rape the butthole.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Not my butt. Like, scream. Yeah, the guts. Making the guts out of the whatever pantyhose.
So stupid.
Blood with stuffing in it.
It's funny. I don't know why we keep doing that.
Yeah.
We keep using that like same old cheap bullshit.
Yeah.
Giant fucking giant intestines.
Yeah. That's funny though. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. So that was the first time I ever met Andrew and
yeah,
and Alec.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I hadn't met them before, and I know this because when I got there, I think they drove separately. I think in the car, because I didn't have a lot of room in my car. I had all this, like the dolly track and all that, so I didn't have a lot of room. So they drove separately. But I remember we all got there and we're all kind of like outside before we're shooting, and we're all like powwowing, I guess. And I think we're talking about what we're gonna get at the store, or for food later. So I remember being like, man, I really want to get some beer, but I knew you didn't drink. I knew a couple people didn't drink, but I didn't know if any of like the new people like Alec or Andrew drank at the time. So I remember like saying something like, hey, does anybody want to get like some drinks or anything? And I remember just Alec and Andrew's eyes like lighting up and like, yes, yes. And we went out and got some beer to bring back to the house. And
Yeah,
so that was kind of our first little, bonding together, was going and getting beer, because we were like the only people that drank.
that's funny. Yeah.
And the gold wings, you had gotten the gold wings before, right? Or you've heard
Yeah.
about the gold wings?
Yeah. During the shoot of, I want to say, Blood Fart Lake, um, one of those movies, and Andrew was on that movie.
Yeah.
Um, we first had the gold wings, and we kept thinking about them, and that was, 3 years prior.
Yeah.
Because Andrew joined LBP officially in 2008. And we shot Blood Fart Lake that year, and around the same area.
Yeah.
So we knew those wings were, around that area.
So
like,
people don't know, the gold wings are chicken wings with like a gold Carolina style
Carolina gold sauce, yeah.
sauce on.
But at that time, like, I had never had a wing like that.
Yeah, me neither.
With that sauce, and it kind of it really stuck with Andrew and I.
Yeah.
So we kept thinking about those wings for years, and then when the opportunity to shoot up there, we were like, oh, they got those gold wings, so we got to get them. Yeah.
So I remember us eating the wings, after the day or for our dinner break or whatever. And I just remember everyone going, after every bite, and it's just like, 8, 9 people in this house all eating these gold wings, just going, It was just dead silent other than that, just people making noise of satisfaction eating these wings.
Yeah. I think there were about 10 of us. I think there were 10 of us in there. It was quite a group.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a read through.
Yep.
Which I believe is on the disc as an extra, or there's bits and pieces of it at least on there. And that was the first time Sean used the excuse of flat tires.
A flat tire, yeah.
And I want to say it was 2 at the time. I can't remember what he said when he came in, but so since then, for 9 years, Sean has used
the flat tire. And sometimes all four go.
Yeah, all 4 go.
He's got the worst luck.
Yeah. And Sean, Sean joined us in 2000. Well, I met him in 2009, and he started making movies with us in 2010. So the stories were already a few years in. So this was nothing new. Wait, so was there I was trying to remember that house, but why was there a stairwell? Remember, there's a stairwell. Was there rooms up there? Did they say you can't go upstairs?
Oh yeah, that was blocked off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was blocked off. But there's like a shot where like this squealing transient or something is poking his head.
Well, everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody does. There's a shot where everyone's like, yeah, suddenly they're from on the floor to up there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was, we couldn't go up there.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why like we didn't have people stay upstairs or didn't shoot upstairs.
Yeah, I want to say there was even like a rope or something. There was like something, blocking that.
All right. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone brought a guitar. I think I remember you playing a guitar. Did you bring a guitar? Because then I found out that you play left-handed on a guitar, right?
Yeah, I'm right-handed, but for some reason I play everything left-handed.
Yeah.
One of them, I think one of the girls did. Probably because I felt like, during like the campfire scene, somebody would be playing the guitar, and we just never used it.
Yeah.
That's maybe the only reason, because we didn't use it.
No, we didn't. But I remember you playing it, and I was like, "Wait, you're playing left-handed?" And you're like, "Yeah, I play left-handed on the guitar."
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man, we did a lot in those.
We did. I think the first stuff we shot was with Nick and Nicole, right?
Yeah.
Was that opening scene? Because I think you wanted to just shoot.
I don't know because remember. Oh, I don't know because remember Nicole was only there for like 3 hours, maybe 4 hours.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was quick. I think we just got her out of the way because I remember Nick not having anything to do like the rest of the time we were there. So we just shot him out, and then
other than shooting,
Yeah,
he was shooting like documentary stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean,
because I remember having the wide angle lens on, and I was actually wearing the Sexsquatch hand, and we dubbed Bill in camera afterwards, just going, right, and doing all that because he was watching the footage as I was just, had the microphone up to him, just recording.
Yeah.
And I think we just shot that quick just to get that out of the way.
Yeah, I really love shoots like that. I don't remember anything bad at all,
Yeah.
Other than the, bug situation.
Yeah, the lights. The lights brought out a ton of bugs.
And I think, that's probably why the night stuff is rushed, because we had all those bugs. I remember, that's one thing I do remember is me saying like, let's go. Let's be as fast as possible because this is disgusting.
Right, yeah. My lights, I remember my light, like, because I had like they were soft boxes with like a little cover over them to diffuse the light. And I just remember they got inside of that cover and they were just like dead bugs, just caked in my lights afterwards.
Yeah. I'm thinking back at like all the scenes that we shot, and it's so, sometimes I don't think about it because I'm so in the moment and I'm worried about, 100 different things. And it's silly for me to say this now because I particularly have been making movies for 30 years.
Yeah.
But we really do accomplish a lot of shit in like 2 to 3 days.
I know, yeah. It's
it is a fun movie.
Yeah. And you know what? Now that I think about it, the first thing we may have shot was Andrew's, that introduction where Andrew's walking with the donuts, and he goes in, and Christy and her character, whatever her name was, and Josh, they're having sex on the bed.
Yeah.
You guys want a donut?
Yeah. That might have been the first shit.
Yeah. But I know that the stuff with Nick and Nicole was pretty early on. It was definitely the first day.
Another thing, now you can... No, I don't think so. I mean, again, we shoot these so fast, but we lucked out because the weather was good, like, the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I remember us not having an issue at all.
No.
And we grilled.
Yep.
I remember that, Andrew. Andrew and Nick were grilling meats during the shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember there was one incident between Jamie and Nick during breakfast one morning.
Really?
You remember that? Nick, he would talk nonstop,
Well, yeah.
And it was just the most random stuff, like stuff that really didn't have like any pertinence to anything going around the set or what anyone was talking about. So I just remember we were all eating breakfast one morning, and he's just going on about something. I just remember Jamie was like, "Do you ever shut up?" And I think after that, he kind of like, brought it down a little bit.
I think she was speaking for all of us.
Yeah. So I do remember that. That was, one thing where she kind of got angry, and she just was like, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, and I remember the fucking Nicole is so weird. Sometimes she just doesn't think. But remember, there was that cat.
Oh yeah,
and the cat had like a
tumor or something.
And fucking Nicole's like, I'm gonna pop it.
Right? Yes. And then we're all yelling at her like, "Don't touch that cat!
Yeah.
What are you doing?"
And she fucking pricks it, and it like flips out, and
yeah.
And she's like, "Ooh!" Like, what are you doing, Nicole?
Yeah.
So really, not turmoil, just stupidity.
Yeah, just a few little things, but none of that like ruined the mood. In fact, that makes it like even funnier that these things happen. But yeah, during the time, that cat thing was like, everyone was like, why would you do that? Leave that cat alone.
I remember, so I think the most takes we did was for the dance number, the music video, just to get it right, the timing right.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love that. It's such a
yeah. He gets handed, the hand comes up, gives on the keytar.
It's so out of left field.
Yeah.
And I think people forget because it's such a jarring scene that it's a callback.
Right.
And I always felt bad. I'm glad that people laugh because it's so like, what the fuck is going on? But I think the punchline is lost because of the absurdity of it,
Yeah.
But it's clearly like Alex homage to Lucas's story,
Yeah,
Lance and Lucas about the KKK thing.
And I remember we wanted to really up the high fives. That was something that Alec and I talked about. It's like let's just high five. Whatever. We'll always
yeah. I mean, we started that with Death o' Lantern.
Yeah.
And then really, because the character of Patrick, Sean was very busy, so Sean just didn't do every movie. It was always selective, and when he was doing this movie, he was playing this character or that character. So this was the first time really taking Lance and upping him up and turning him into something that is what we know as Lance.
Right.
Because he was not written that way or performed that way when we did DiBQ.
Right.
And so I heightened, and then I kept heightening, but the chemistry and stupidity between Lance and Lucas just became like, I mean, these guys are, this is like Bill and Ted. These are the, you know, these are the stupid, and there's like an underlining like love story between them. And
there's homoeroticism.
It just became like, well, Patrick is such a, I like Patrick and Lucas, but Lucas and Lance are a whole different animal.
Yeah.
And I certainly, you know, Patrick will probably come back for Death and Lantern 3, the proper shot on video Death and Lantern 3. But yeah, the duo really, I mean, from that movie, once I, you know, if I'm very guilty of, if I find characters that I think I write for stupidly and the performances are stupid and over the top enough, I'm gonna continue writing those characters, much to your chagrin.
Yeah.
Because you're focused on the technical stuff. You want to shoot this movie. You're like, fuck, now I got to go and be in this thing.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's why I always get killed off. Like I'm the first person to die, you know, or I'm at the very end as like a joke, you know, like in the Weirdsies, I'm towards the end as, you know, Buttcliff Jeff, or I'm the first person to die in Sexsquatch.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, kill me off, and then that way, you know, I have an out that, you know, I can film the rest of the stuff.
Absolutely.
And my death scene in Sexsquatch is like the most violent in the whole movie, and a great scene afterwards when they find my body, and you have Leo looking over me. It looks like his butthole's been put over the baseball bat. I'm not no doctor or nothing.
Yeah.
It's a great Josh performance, and I actually really like Sean as Joey Jeremiah in the movie too.
Yeah.
You know, I think just everyone.
I mean, the MVP is Amber.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, she's great.
Marmalade is the standout of that movie for sure.
Her like onesie nightgown sort of thing, and her just hair. I mean, she's just so like.
Oh.
Yeah, her face. I mean, just I remember us cracking up like whenever she's on screen and doing like her wide-eyed woo sort of stuff, you know. And my favorite shots in those movies are her and Bill. You know, her and the Sexsquatch together.
Oh,
and we shot it. We happened to shoot it at like magic hour.
Yeah.
Where like this beautiful like golden light is just hitting their grotesqueness like just right. So it looks like it's like, how does this look so good?
Yeah.
And we just happen to like just position them just right, and they're just so gross looking, and just I remember us shooting it like, man, this looks really good. Just I mean, they look so bad, but it's so funny that they look so good, and they look like
it's like a close-up Ren and Stimpy still.
Yeah. It's just so grotesque. And it was Heather, right, that would help Bill put on the makeup.
Heather and the other Nicole.
Right, yeah.
Booby Nicole, yeah.
Would help Bill put on the makeup. And the makeup wasn't super complex. You got it from like what was that costume shop that used to be near you?
Arlene's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got it from there, and I don't remember it taking super long to put the makeup on Bill, and Bill's great in it as the Sexquatch.
Everybody is good in this movie. Yeah. Everybody is good, you know? So it's a lot for Amber to stand out amongst these knuckleheads, you know? Yeah. Because, I mean, I completely amped up Skippy.
Right.
You know? Now, he had already done a few appearances, but this was really like, I wrote Skippy as the Skippy we really know now, you know?
Right. His karate moves. I'm looking like Van Damme over here.
All of it is great. The
Yeah.
fucking, and this is one of those movies where almost everything I wrote is in the movie, regardless of, because sometimes I'll write shit that I'm like, oh, I don't know how we're gonna pull this off. It's just in the script. Who knows if we're gonna shoot it that way,
Yeah.
But for the most part, everything from the script is on the screen. Even um the bazooka.
Right.
And I wasn't sure how we were gonna do the bazooka, I don't know if I had started up that relationship with Tony Masiello yet. I might have.
Yeah, I thought that you did know him.
Maybe I did.
Because you put me in contact with him to get the footage to him.
Okay.
For the clips. Okay. And that's kind of what started me and Tony talking.
So maybe that's all right. So maybe that's why I was like, yeah, we can pull this off because Tony said he would do it. Yeah. And I love it. I just think that's like,
oh, it's awesome.
So ridiculous. It's really the first time the Warlock like interacts within the film.
Yeah.
Instead of just introducing and closing it out, he's in the movie.
Shabbat shalom.
Apparently I wrote him as a Jewish Warlock.
Yeah. And then the ending, I love, some of my favorite endings that we do end on like, a fun gag. The Weirdsies ends on such a fun gag. And then the gag in this, we build up the whole thing. Skippy's obsessed with donuts, opens it up and the Warlock has stolen all of his donuts, after this big battle. He wants to eat a donut and they're all gone. So I love these little, those little joke endings that just really like put the button on the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I remember just, the first time we all watched it. Do you remember the first time we all watched it?
Shit. I don't.
I think it was, I came up, right, to color correct it. So me and you saw it first.
Yeah.
Because the way we used to shoot, I mean, we still kind of do this, but we would shoot it like a flat video style. So it would look kind of more gray. And then I'd go over to Chris's house and we'd just tweak everything and make it a little more colorful or, do stuff.
Yeah.
So Chris would edit it. He would get all the footage because we didn't shoot in 4K. This was like shot on like a Canon T2i. Yeah. So it was still like 1080p footage.
But it looked great.
Yeah, it does look good. Because I had I rented out this nice lens, which I think really added to it looking way better than just using like a stock lens. But I remember the first time watching it, like cracking up and really like, this was so, it was fun.
Yeah.
And I've shown it to people and and what's crazy too, is it's kind of gotten like a little cult, a cult following. People have made like, I remember there was a Sexsquatch birthday cake. You remember that somebody made?
Yeah, it was showing up on like Instagram and stuff like that. Years ago. Yeah, like if you would just type in Sexsquatch and you'd just find all this shit. I'm like, what? Like that's cool,
And people would have Sexsquatch watch parties where they get people together and just watch Sexsquatch, have beers, and have a good time. And
yeah.
I was telling Chris that I saw this guy. He's like a popular YouTuber. He one of his like sidekick guys is a huge Sexsquatch fan, and whenever he brings up a movie he didn't like, the other guy is like, "Well, you love Sexsquatch, so
your opinion doesn't matter."
Yeah. So it's like the fact that it's gotten out there and so many people have seen it is pretty cool. That this movie we shot and over the course of 3 days,
typical,
people still love and we love it. And this we did the limited edition Blu-rays for it before it was released, right, by SRS.
We didn't. I can't remember. What do you have? Do you have the one with part 2 on it?
No, this is the one I think we made we were.
So is it just the screener?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe this was limited. This was really, I don't know.
Because I mean, I just took theirs and put it
in there. No, I have the actual.
Okay, so you had a screener. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as like the group of us seeing it, I don't remember that at all. But what I do remember is the movie ended up playing at a bunch of festivals. And one in particular we were there for. The others we were not. It was just we send them the movie and then it plays.
Yeah.
So this was actually the first time anybody outside the group had seen the movie. It was the premiere, basically. Yeah. And we were in Kentucky for Fright Night Film Fest. And it was like a midnight show of the film, and it was me and Sean and Josh, a couple more people, but so we had a table and we were promoting it, and the website was promoting it. One of the screenings was Sexsquatch, the world premiere or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember, now we had a bunch of screenings, of other movies for years and years and years, but this was, so we were in a untapped area. I remember us doing really well in Kentucky. Like we had like a bunch of fans that, they just came out of the woodwork, and it was a really great appearance for us. Yeah. It was like, wow, like it's great to know that there's more fans out there than just like in Ohio or, yeah, the places that we had always done, New Jersey or whatever. So this was out in Kentucky, and we were very nervous. We were like, oh man, like what if there's just us in the audience,
Right.
And I, being more nervous because I'm like the guy who made it, yeah. And I have a lot like riding on it and everything, and I'm really like fully knowing what these movies are. I know these aren't like fucking, these are this is high garbage. This is ridiculous shit.
Right.
Cheesy shit. But you never know. You don't know if you're gonna get a good crowd, a bad crowd, people who are into this type of shit. But I mean, I would expect if you see a poster that says Sexsquatch, you know what you're getting into. So yeah. Honestly, I remember all of us just being kind of like, I don't know how this is gonna go. And where the screening was at this convention, you had like, it was like a labyrinth of halls to get to where the main screening room was.
Yeah.
And we're going through the halls, and at this point we're seeing like nothing, just kind of straggling, and most people are in the lobby or whatever. And then we start going down this one hall, and Sean is like, is that for us? And there's this line of people in a hallway. And then when you walk into the room, it's filled.
Yeah.
So it was like a standing room only type of situation where these people were trying to get in to watch this movie. And we were like,
awesome.
We were like, is this for another movie? Like, did they not clear out for our movie yet?
Yeah.
And then like, I remember walking in there and I'm like, what's everyone here for? And like, Sexquatch. We're like, what? Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. So this was like oh shit, how awesome, but also, oh shit, I hope they like this. So we get up and, we do a spiel and talk to everybody. And then we go sit in the audience and the movie plays, and like everyone is laughing. Like everyone is just losing it and laughing and clapping and, you know, slapping knees, and it was such a good feeling. And I remember when the music video comes on, like people were howling, you know, like it was just so like,
yeah,
man,
there's no better feeling.
This is great. You know?
Yeah.
So I felt like after that, I was like, man, we might have like a hit, you know, like this might be great.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it ended up being great. Like, you know, Terror at Bloodfart Lake and Sexsquatch are, I think, SRS's biggest releases from Chris Seaver is concerned. Like that's the stuff that has sold out for them, and
yeah,
you know, they don't even offer the Blu-rays anymore.
Yeah.
And you can't even get Terror at Bloodfart Lake anymore. You know. So yeah, I remember like I was on such a high from that movie that I remember being like, we got to do Sexquatch 2.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And we made that video with my little son at the time, River, you know, pleading for people to donate to Sexquatch 2. And it's funny, nothing happened. You know, Sexquatch 2 ended up turning into, Sexquatch 2 at the time ended up turning into, I believe, Phantom of the Grindhouse.
And PIA, we did those.
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, you know,
Sexquatch 2.
We do Sexquatch 2, and it's one of the worst things we've ever done.
I remember I just remember the first time watching Sexsquatch 2 and going, no, it's not that bad. There's some funny stuff. And then we watched it again, and I was like, oh, man, maybe, I don't know. I'm looking at this with some rose-colored glasses.
Well, which is interesting because the making of Sexsquatch 2 was terrible.
Yeah.
That was deplorable. And that was like a case of, we 100% shouldn't have made that movie. You know, I remember just to get the movie made, we had to add Teen Ape, you know, to make it some big thing. And we hadn't done Teen Ape in years.
Yeah.
And I can see why, you know, like, so officially, as far as I'm concerned, Teen Ape was put to bed in 2007.
Right.
It was just, there was no energy. It just felt so flat. It felt forced. None of us really wanted to do it. We just wanted to hang out. I think it's a miracle that it got made in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, and finished. And it is a double feature on the out of print Blu-ray. But we offer the Blu-ray as well. So you can get it unofficially from me, but officially it's out of print, and it's the only way you can get Sexsquatch 2 is with the first one.
Yep.
But I mean, we properly give it a shit. You know, we put it through its tolls on the commentary. We are not kind to the film because it deserves some shit. You know, there's some funny things in it in part 2.
Yeah, there's moments for sure.
There's little moments. There's little things that do make me chuckle.
Just a quick. All right, go ahead. I was going to say a quick story about the tone of Sexsquatch 2. We were shooting at this like gazebo, and I remember you were getting really angry because we were not giving the energy that you wanted. So as a joke, I went too hot, like just like, you know, because I was frustrated that no one else was, you know, into it. So I was just like, screw it. I'm getting pissed off. I'm just going to go just so stupid with it. And then afterwards you go, yes, exactly. See, yeah, you're making fun of everything, but that's exactly what I want. I want you guys to be stupid. So it's like, no one really wanted to do it. So like, the energy was so low. So the fact that when I was making fun of it, you were like, you're making fun of it, but it's exactly what I want, you know?
Remember Jason, like, basically tried to act like he forgot all about it. And he didn't show up, and I had to remember he did not show up, and I had to like make Casey go pick him up.
Yeah.
I was like, we gotta fucking do this. So no, I mean, nobody was happy.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to make this damn movie. But there are some good bits.
And unlike Sexsquatch 1, which is a complaint that Sexsquatch 1, the only complaint I've heard about people that have liked Sexsquatch 1 is that it's a movie called Sexsquatch, but there's absolutely no nudity in it.
I know. And then there's like a grotesque 3-way in part 2.
Yeah.
Well, that was me saying, okay, you want your nudity?
Right.
Here's your nudity. Yeah, it was kind of a bummer on our part, but I mean, I didn't write it that way, and I certainly, knowing the people we have in the movie, who's gonna do stuff like that and who's not, and I'm not gonna make people do that shit.
Right. No. And in the movie,
you don't want to put somebody in the movie who can't fucking like act.
Yeah.
But just throw them in because they have boobs. You know what I mean? Like everybody, it's a scale, but everyone.
I get it, but there's horn dogs that they watch. Yeah, and I don't get it. You can go on the internet and see any pair of boobs.
I know. Yeah, that is like, come on, guys, like really. Yeah. But they are absolutely right. I mean, it's a sex comedy with no sex.
Yeah.
Lots of cleavage, lots of bouncing, but there's no full boob nudity. I think it's raunchy enough without the, nipples. Yeah.
There's breast milk.
Yeah, there's breast milk. There's fake cum. There's fake rape. Lots of boobies bouncing. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah.
Just not in the flesh.
And I guess one last thing is I remember there was an actress that we were once talking to. I won't name who it was. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but she had posted, it was after a Cinema Wasteland, she bought Sexquatch. She posted this is like the funniest movie I've ever seen or whatever. We're like, I wonder if we could get her in a movie. So I remember you asking her and she said, oh, I really love Sexquatch and everything, but I don't do comedies.
Yeah.
And then immediately afterwards, the movie she does is a comedy.
Yeah.
So funny little Sexquatch story.
Yeah.
But people love it. I love it. We love it. It's one that we, it probably doesn't get it watched as much as like Stoinky Beach does when we're all together, but it's one that comes on. It's good. I mean, it's Sexquatch. It's a classic.
Yeah.
And I had fun making it, and it was the first thing that we ever shot together as a team. So it holds a very special place in my heart.
Yeah, I mean, you with that movie, you proved that you could get a good quality picture with my time frame.
Yeah.
And it just kept getting better and better, I hope to do it again one day.
We will.
So, but that's it, guys. That was our talk about making the Crapsterpiece Sexsquatch. If you want to get a hold of it, get a hold of me. And you can get Sexsquatch 1 and 2 on this beautiful made-to-order Blu-ray.
And the artwork done by the Jeff Sisson, right?
That's right. Yep, Jeff Sisson.
Look at that beautiful artwork. And you can see a little bit of my death scene. Oh, and we were actually, real quick, this Sexsquatch was featured in Fangoria, basically.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so in 2013, They did a 2-page spread on me and the films, and I mean the 2-page spread is one giant picture of Sexsquatch. With all of us. Yeah,
it's me, you, and Bill and Sexquatch outfit.
Yeah, and Amber.
Oh, and Amber, yeah, right, yeah.
As Marmalade. I mean, that was another, like, again, 10 years prior, we had been sort of throughout those maybe 8 years, we had been mentioned in Fangoria and little things here and there, but not like a full story. So, to have that was pretty wild. That was a, little Chris dream come true, little Fango kid.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was very nice.
Yeah.
I believe that's, do you remember the issue?
The Evil Dead remake issue.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's 313. It might be 313 or 213.
Yeah, I can't remember it's the exact one, but it's the one with the basement girl, whatever her name is. Yeah.
Yeah, Evil Dead the remake, and she's got the blade on her tongue, and that's the cover. But there we are. I have mine framed.
Yep.
Down in the movie room. It's cool. It's cool, man.
It was very cool.
And yeah.
Sexquatch is eternal. Sexquatch is life.
Yeah, guys. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get a copy, get a hold of me. We'll be doing more Crapsterpieces down the road. It's going to be a little weird, little off and on, because I am packing and there's a lot of shit going on personally in my life. Lots of fun events. Going back out on the road for conventions this year, which is going to be sweet. 30th anniversary, lots of stuff. Make Flicks is releasing 14 of our movies on Blu-ray for the first time. But I'll be doing a separate post for that. But yeah, so guys, thank you, Clint.
Yes.
For coming on to talk about one of your plethora of quote unquote good experiences making
Next one's Stonky Beach.
That's right. Stonky Beach. Maybe we'll do that when everyone's together.
Yeah.
Only the people who actually enjoy it. So you, me, and Alec.
Right.
All right. Well, so thanks, guys. If you like the video, give us a like, subscribe. Watch all the other vids. It's a cornucopia of mischief. And we'll see you for another episode down the road. So thanks. Bye, Clint.